want to see be on video? I guess we do.
And I mute too. See right next to it over there, mute until you need to talk.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It is 10 o'clock. I'm going to give it just another minute to see if we have some other folks joining us. Then we'll get started.
Yeah, I just got in. But they said they're going to give it another minute.
Good morning, Kayla. This is Don Dorn from Landmarks. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Don. I can hear you.
Good. It's nice to be connected and be talking with you people this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, we are at 10:01. So let's go ahead and get started just because we want to keep this to an hour if we can. We might go a little bit over if we have a lot of questions at the end, but we shall see.
One more member of my group should be joining, Diane Nassar. I don't know if
Okay.
she's up on your screen or not.
Yep, I see Diane. She's on.
Okay. All right. Let the
All
party-
right.
let
We'll
the
get
party
it started. So just some guidelines for today. I ask that if you are not already to please turn your microphones on mute during this presentation, just to ensure that everyone can hear clearly and we're not getting any type of feedback. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please type those into the chat box and we'll address as many of them at the end as we can. Also, the session is being recorded for future viewing and sharing. So if you can't stay the whole time, or if you know someone that wanted to watch but couldn't attend, we'll be sharing the link to that recording later today. So for everyone that's on this call, we invited both organizations that have registered for Mohawk Valley Gives and also those organizations that have not yet registered but may be interested in doing so. So we hope that both audiences here today are going to find this very useful. For those registered, hopefully this will be helpful information that can help guide your campaign leading up to the Giving Day. And for those not yet registered, hopefully this will give you more of an idea of what's involved and we encourage you to join us. So Mohawk Valley Gives, I did some math, is 62 days away. So that is just under or just over 2 months. And needless to say, the countdown has officially begun. I did just want to mention our two presenting sponsors for Mohawk Valley Gives. The first one is StaffWorks. If you are familiar, StaffWorks has put on a Giving Day campaign aimed at animal organizations for the last few years and has been very successful in doing so. So we're very, very excited to have Anita and StaffWorks as part of this team for Mohawk Valley Gives. And her Giving Day also utilized the same GiveGab platform. So it's great that it's a perfect fit for us. Also, M&T Bank is our other presenting sponsor. M&T has done a lot in this community, as you know, and they also have a fund with us here at the Community Foundation. And we're really, really excited to have two really, really great community-minded businesses on board here for Mohawk Valley Gives. I wanted to walk through this Giving Day kind of timeline here. So I'll walk you through where we've already been and where we're headed. So the announcement for Mohawk Valley Gives, this was the first public announcement, was on April 25th. On May 3rd is when we held a getting ready webinar for nonprofits to learn a little bit more about what the day entailed. And then on May 23rd, registration kicked off. The Giving Day workshop, this is, if you're familiar with maps, you are here, July 20th, the Giving Day workshop. Registration is going to close on August 1st. So we've still got a couple weeks left there. And for those organizations that have registered, your profiles are to be completed by Friday, August 12th. We will be holding a kickoff event for participating organizations on August 16th, and I will get into some more detail on that very shortly. And then getting into the month of September, which is the prime time, early donations are going to start on September 1st. And obviously Mohawk Valley Gives, our big day is September 20th. And then donations will close on September 30th. So essentially, anyone can go to givemv.org during the month of September and make a donation to your organization. That being said, September donations on September 20th are the ones that are going to count towards the different cash prizes that are going to be awarded on the Giving Day. So just keep that in mind. So as I mentioned, we hope that you will join us for a great event and a time to celebrate our efforts going into the month of September. So August 16th from 9 to 11 a.m. we'll be holding a Mohawk Valley Gives gathering. Registration is required, and there will be lots of great different takeaways to help you prepare for September 20th. We'll be doing some fun raffles, but we really see this as a great networking event and time to mingle and talk with other organizations to see what they're doing for Mohawk Valley Gives. So we're really excited for that.
Yeah,
Invitations will be.
so I'll send you an email, and then that way you have my email because it's very long, and so I'll send it.
Looks like someone unmuted. Sorry about that. Invitations will be going out into mailboxes soon, so you should see that probably next week. And so be on the lookout for that. So as I mentioned, registration began on May 3rd. And since then, we have had an amazing response from local nonprofits who have registered and embraced this idea of Mohawk Valley Gives. And we are so excited. I just want to take a moment to scroll through the names here. I've got a few slides, and I just checked this morning. We hit over 80, and we do hope to see that number continue to grow. And so I'll just go through here just so everyone can see who our partners are here on this Giving Day. Now, speaking of participating nonprofits, now is the perfect time to announce that you'll be participating in Mohawk Valley Gives to your different networks. So to do so, we encourage you to use graphics that are included in the nonprofit toolkit, or you can get creative and create your own. So I wanted to show these two examples here and give a little shout out and thanks to 4 Elements Studio and the Project Fibonacci Foundation for these great posts that they put together to really kick off. I mean, this is going to be the first post where you're kind of introducing this idea of Mohawk Valley Gives to your audiences. So this was really great. 4 Elements Studio put together. This was actually, it's not a static graphic. It's more of like a motion graphic video. And then Project Fibonacci Foundation utilized the logo and some of the other graphics in the nonprofit toolkit to build their own graphic here with their logo and different icons. So very good. And I hope that everyone who has registered will do the same. The more we can get the word out, the better. And just be sure when doing so to tag the Community Foundation, just so we don't miss it, and we can go ahead and share your post to our page as well. And also be sure to use the hashtag Mohawk Valley Gives when posting anytime during this campaign. Also, something else that we are going to implement on our Community Foundation social media pages are highlights for the registered participants. So we want to spotlight you on social media. We want to give you that day where we are, highlighting you and what your organization does. We're going to do a series of posts leading up to the big day. And in order to do so, we have put together a simple form that you can just fill out with a quote telling us why your organization is excited for Mohawk Valley Gives. We ask that you also upload a logo and a photo for us to use when creating these different highlights. This is kind of dual purpose for us because yes, we will use them for the social media highlights, but this is also a way for us to collect all of the logos of all of the participating organizations so that we have those on hand for different things that we'll be doing for the big day and for the kickoff event on the 16th. So we ask that you please fill that out. We have sent out a couple emails about it, and we have about a handful that have responded. So hopefully we'll see a bit more after this training today. I did put a QR code on this screen just because I thought it would be easy to bring you right to the form to fill out. Something new, I don't know if this is new just to me, but you can actually, if you have your cell phone out, you can open up your camera and scan this QR code, and it'll bring you to the page. So try it out while you're sitting here. And if not, if you have questions about where to find this form, feel free to email me directly and I can get that for you. Here is just an example of one of those social media highlights and what they'll look like. We envision these being a little bit different. So some might be quotes, some might be a graphic with your logo or with a photo that you submitted. So we're gonna try to mix it up with these, but just so you have an idea. And I believe we're gonna start those today, actually, they'll be kicking off. So thank you, Herkimer County Health Net, if you're on the call for your quote submission. We appreciate it. Next, getting into promotion, you may be wondering how the Community Foundation is promoting Mohawk Valley Gives. And the answer to that question is really all over the place. We are really trying to think of creative ways to inject this into the community. That's what I keep saying. We need to inject it into the community. We need everyone to know that this is happening. So obviously we are going to do the traditional media like TV, commercial, radio, print advertisements, billboards. We are also going to do some direct mail postcards to different zip codes, as well as our fund holders. Email communications and social media are going to be huge for this. So we'll be setting up a series of emails and social media posts, especially as we get into the month of September. And then two other things I wanted to mention here at the end are lawn signage and community engagement. So lawn signage, I think, is going to be huge because it gives you the opportunity to place whatever event or whatever thing that you want people to know about right in front of where, high traffic areas or where people are driving, in people's neighborhoods, in front of your business, things like that. So we will be providing some lawn signs to your organization. We'll do that at the kickoff event in August. And we'll also be deploying some of our team members to get out there and put some lawn signs all around the community, all around, Herkimer and Oneida counties. So And then community engagement is something that we talk about a lot with Mohawk Valley Gives. So we're really trying to find creative ways to engage local businesses as well. And this can be as simple as, engaging coffee shops to, on the day of Mohawk Valley Gives or the days leading up to, giving them, say stickers that they can put on the coffees going out the door that day. Or if there's a restaurant that does takeout, giving them some Mohawk Valley Gives stickers to put on their to-go orders. Just little things like that, I think are going to make a big impact as far as people seeing it and seeing it at the right time and saying, oh, this is September 20th. This is today. I'll go on and, see what organizations are involved and hopefully drive donations from that. So though we are going to spread the word to the general community in all of these ways, it's important for our nonprofits to also think about spreading the word to your networks and most importantly, your supporters, your donors, to make the greatest possible impact for the day of. So we will talk about that in a little bit more detail coming up. But first, I just want to talk about prizes. If you've been with us on this Mohawk Valley Gives journey for a while, you've probably heard us talk about cash prizes that are going to be awarded. I will say that some of these are still in the works, but I did want to just give a little taste of what some of these prizes will look like. So I'll open up this page here. So these are just some examples of prizes that will be awarded on the giving day. There also will be a prize for most dollars raised and most donors on the giving day. Those prizes are sponsored by our two presenting sponsors, Staffworks and M&T Bank. And so I'll just read through a couple of these. So 70th for the win. This prize is going to be awarded to an organization, the organization that receives the 70th donation of the day on September 20th. So 70 comes from the fact that this year is the Community Foundation's 70th anniversary. That's why we started this Giving Day campaign. So we're trying to just make these prizes really fun and not too competitive. We want there to be some fun to it. The next one here is the Give First prize. So this will be awarded to the participating organization that receives the first online donation on September 20th. Golden Ticket. This will be awarded to the nonprofit that garners the most individual donors between set times of the day. And like I said, some of these are still in the works. So those set times of the day are still to be determined, and we'll send out more details on that so that you can plan. Midnight Snack. This prize will be awarded to the participating organization that receives the most donations between 10 and midnight. This might seem like an odd one, but we're really trying to find different ways to, I guess, keep the momentum going. And we don't want things to like slow down at, 6 p.m., 8 p.m. We want to keep things going. So if we have some prizes that are going to be specifically awarded during those later hours of the day, we're hoping that that'll drive some last minute donations come September 20th. I'll just go through the last two here. Kick It Up. This prize will be awarded to one Mohawk Valley Gives participant who has registered and attends in person during the August 16th kickoff event. So that's a pretty easy one, and that'll just be a random raffle. And then Social Media Guru. Winner will be selected by a random drawing of participating nonprofits that use hashtag Mohawk Valley Gives on a social media post between September 13th and September 20th, promoting their upcoming efforts. So all of these prizes we will be adding to this page as we go. We'll also be adding more details on amounts, what these amounts are going to be, and the sponsors for some of these prizes. So if you go to givemv.org/prizes, like you'll see up here, you'll be able to see these, and we will send out updates as more of these prizes come to fruition. All right, so let's get into some steps to success for your giving day. So the first step is to get verified to accept donations. Second, completing your online profile. Third, securing matches and or challenges. 4, engaging your ambassadors. And 5, preparing your communications plan. So we're going to talk about each one of these in a little bit more detail right now. So getting verified. If you log into your admin dashboard, this is where you are able to add your organization's information, your story. Check your verification status, because if it says that you are not verified, you'll just have to follow a few simple steps to get your organization ready to accept donations. I believe the donation processor is Stripe. So the form is very, very simple, but I would avoid waiting until the last minute because it's not an instant verification. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but I know it's probably at least a couple days. So you just want to make sure that before that September 1st date, when donations open up, you want to make sure that you're verified and that your organization can accept donations. So it's inevitable. We know that not everyone prefers or is comfortable with giving online, and but that's not a problem. You are able to add cash and check contributions to the back end in the admin dashboard as what we call on or offline donations. So this is, I put a screenshot here. This is right under the donation tools. Entering these donations will add to your Mohawk Valley Gives totals for the day. You can attribute these offline donations to a particular support area, or if it was from a particular fundraiser that was set up.
Okay, and then I put the coupon in a jug where I have those 4 rolled.
I'm sorry, I think we've got someone who is.
Are you talking to someone?
Let me just mute them. I'm sorry for that interruption. Also, receipts can be sent to donors when an email address is included for these offline donations. So that's a nice feature there. Next up is profile completion. So just take some time and go through in the admin dashboard. You'll see all of these sections here, and you'll want to make sure that there's a green check mark next to each one of them. So add your organization's information. This includes a logo, a cover photo, you're adding your website. Make sure to add an authentic story to your page. Put up different donation levels as well. I think those are going to be really, really important and helpful, because when donors go to your Giving Day profile, they'll be able to see exactly what their donation will do or what it will go towards. So I would highly encourage you to set up those donation levels. Also feature some visual content. So if you have a video for your nonprofit or about that shows the work that you do, make sure to include those on your page as well. And then last but not least, I would say this would come probably, you'd want your profile to be pretty much near completion, and then invite your fundraisers. So we'll talk a little bit more about fundraisers in a moment, but the deadline for profile completion, like I said, is August 16th. You can still make changes after that date, but you really, really want that profile to be done and polished so that come September 1st, all of us who are in this meeting are ready to roll. All right, so matches and challenges. Organizations that set up a match or a challenge raise an average of 8% more than those that don't have them. Matches and challenges motivate donors that want to increase their impact. So if there's a dollar for dollar match, then a $25 donation turns into 50 turns into 100, et cetera. So they know that by donating, there's going to be, your organization is going to get even more because of that. So active matches can be highlighted on your Giving Day profile to help attract people, donors, and making sure that they give to your organization on the Giving Day. There is a short matches and challenges training, thanks to GiveGab. I also put the QR code here if you want to go ahead and scan that and save it for later so that you can sign up and watch that. I believe it has you fill out a short little form before you watch the training. So match and challenge to-do list. So maybe matches are something that is new to you or new to your organization. Here are just a couple steps for how to go about it. The first step would be to identify donors to ask. So do you have someone that is very, very supportive of your organization or gives to you every year? Identify those donors that would make have great potential to be a match sponsor. The next step would obviously be to make that ask and secure that commitment for the Giving Day. You can then go into the admin dashboard and add those matches and challenges to your profile so that people can see them. And then the fourth step is to verify your match setup with GiveGab support. So this step is optional, but highly encouraged. So once you add that match to your Giving Day profile, GiveGab support is always available. There's a little blue icon in the bottom right corner that you can click on if you ever need any help with anything. But I would highly encourage just making sure that you have the match set up the way you want it to be. So GiveGab can help with that. Fifth, and last but not least, is the to curate communications that highlight your match. So you don't want the match to kind of just sit there and have nobody know about it. So in your marketing materials, in your social media campaigns, your email campaigns, you would want to highlight that match and make sure that your networks know about it. Next up is engaging your ambassadors. So you can expand your organization's reach by asking individuals to share your profile page once it is up and complete. You can even go a step further and ask them to host their very own fundraising page, which is what we call peer-to-peer fundraising. Again, there is a peer-to-peer fundraiser training that is offered through GiveGab if you want to take a watch, if you have some time. These videos are pretty short, so you won't be sitting there for hours watching them, but they are very, very informative. And again, if the QR code isn't working for you or you want me to send you a direct link, I absolutely can do so. Or these trainings are also on our training page at givemv.org. So when we say ambassadors, you might be thinking, who is that? How does that pertain to me? So anyone can be an ambassador or a fundraiser. That includes volunteers, your staff, your board members, past donors, potential donors, anyone. This is a really, really great way to engage your staff and board members. If you're looking for a way for them to get involved, them setting up a peer-to-peer fundraiser for your organization and sharing that is going to be invaluable. So you want to make sure you set your ambassadors up for success, of course. So the first step here, if you have the time and the resources, would be to schedule a quick informational session with your ambassadors, like I just mentioned, and walk them through the fundraiser guide. So I'll click on this. This can be found online in the toolkit. So you'll want to I can share this link as well in the email that we send later today. But this really talks through how to become a peer-to-peer fundraiser. What link do I share? How do I get the word out? What am I responsible for? And there's also a communications guide that features different social media and email messages that they can pull directly from. So all very, very helpful stuff, especially in the first year when maybe some of your supporters haven't done this before. I would also recommend creating a simple and suggested communications timeline for your ambassadors. So really outline, when you want them to send out, emails or do social media pushes for your page, and also provide them with the links that they need to share. Last but not least, walking peer-to-peer fundraisers through creating their profiles. Again, this is the first year, and it would be helpful probably for them to just see a quick little walkthrough of how to create that fundraising page. All right, so communications plan. Plan your online and physical communications well ahead of September 20th. I can't stress this enough. Like I said, we've got a little over 2 months. Now is the time to start planning if you haven't already. So online, I would suggest planning both online and physical communications. So online, in my mind, is social media and email mainly. Physical is flyers, postcards, events, etc. I'm sure there are many more things that can be named. We will be, I wish I had an example of it today, but it is coming. We are putting together a flyer for Mohawk Valley Gives that has an empty spot for you to put your logo. So we will be distributing that out to all the participating organizations so that you can put your logo on it. And then if you choose, get some of those printed. And then the second thing I just want to mention here is to determine your budget for promotion based on your best return on investment. So I'm not saying that every organization has to have a huge budget for Mohawk Valley Gives. We are going to be doing a lot of the promotion, but if there are things that you can think of that you would like to do, just start thinking about those things now and, determining what is going to be the best return on investment, where would be the best place for you to, put your money and advertise. Just some social media ideas. And as I was putting this slide together, I realized this could also be, these could also be email ideas as well. So the first one that we've already talked about is announcing your participation. That's something that can be done right now. Save the date. So sometime in August, maybe doing a social media post or posts or an email to your supporters, just telling them to save the date. Early giving has begun. So early September, like I said, September 1st, donations open. I would also suggest doing a social media or email push there. And then a campaign countdown. So mid-September, as we're creeping closer and closer to September 20th, just keeping up the momentum and making sure that people know that it's coming, 1 week away, 2 days away, 1 day away, those type of posts. Also on September 20th, hourly reminders would be great, just doing different posts and emails that stress, we have 6 hours left or 3 hours left. I think that constant push, and not just from the community foundation, but from all of us, is going to be the force that drives this whole campaign forward. So just some ideas to keep in mind. And if you'd like, you can customize the templates that are available in the Mohawk Valley Gives toolkit, or get creative and build your own graphics, like I showed on the earlier slide. I would highly encourage mapping out a schedule for these posts and email communications, just so you're not having to do it on the fly or throw it together. You can kind of just know already what you're going to post. That's what myself and Tiffany, our public relations coordinator, have been working on recently, is mapping out really what the next 2 months are going to look like for us as far as communications go. If you do have a graphic in mind that, you want to post about and you don't really know where to start, reach out to us. We would be more than happy to help. We have a lot of graphics that we've already created that we can share elements of. So just don't be afraid to reach out, is what I'm saying. We know that some smaller nonprofits might not have the capacity or the tools to build all of these graphics and things like that, but we are more than happy to help, and we want to make this day a success as much as you do. So just some questions to ask yourself. We'll start with communications over on the left. So are there any events coming up where I can spread the word about Mohawk Valley Gives participation, or about my organization? Sorry about that. Are there any events coming up where I can spread the word about my organization's participation in Mohawk Valley Gives? So think about that. What do you have coming up in the next 2 months that you can, pass out flyers, that you can add it on to an email that you're sending out, different things like that. Just try to get creative, and from this point forward, start thinking everything that your organization is doing, how can Mohawk Valley Gives fit into that? Second, here under communications, am I producing any publications or newsletters that can feature Mohawk Valley Gives? So this can be a physical newsletter, it can be a physical magazine, it can be, if you're sending out any type of report, or even like an e-newsletter. I know we do at the Community Foundation a monthly e-newsletter. And this can be to different audiences too. If you have something that you send monthly to your board, make sure you feature Mohawk Valley Gives in it. Make sure you put that call to action in there of what they can be doing to help you. So just some things to think about there. Also, moving on to my audience. What is the best way to reach my audience? Is it social media? Is it email, direct mail, phone calls? If the answer is all of those, which for many of us, it just may be, then plan to put together a robust campaign to hit audiences at multiple touch points. Plan to assign board and staff members to help make this happen. On the day of September 20th, start thinking about, because it's going to be here so quickly, what is my plan for the giving day? So start to think about staff assignments. So are you going to have someone dedicated to calling up some of your donors and supporters and letting them know that it's Mohawk Valley Gives Day, and that you have a match going on, or that you have this project coming up that you are seeking funding for, and it can make an even greater impact if you make your donation on this day. So start to think about that. And then communications that you're going to have going out on that giving day, celebrations. So there might be some organizations out there, hopefully, that are going to, put on some type of party or event or something for the giving day. And last but not least, just how to keep the community engaged during the full 24 hours. So that's something that I think is really important as well. Like I said, we don't want to get to 6 p.m. and donations just cease because the workday is over. It's really important to keep up the momentum even through that last lap of the day, if you will. And then thank you. So it's a lot to think about at once. It really is. And trust me, I know. But how should my organization plan to thank Giving Day donors? So this isn't something you want to think about last minute or like on the giving day. It's important to plan ahead and, think about things like social media. Maybe you want to do a post at the end of the day, thanking all of those supporters that gave to you on September 20th. Or maybe you want to do it the next day, an email communication to all of those donors, handwritten notes, phone calls. If you have a newsletter coming up, maybe a message of thanks. So there's a lot of different things that can be done and a lot of different things to think about. So this slide is a lot. And I would be happy if you have questions or if you just want to bounce ideas off of us, I'd be more than happy to do so. So feel free to reach out to me for that. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about after Mohawk Valley Gives and what some of the donation reporting and things like that are going to look like. So I'm going to pass it over to Kelsey from GiveGab to go through a couple slides here. Kelsey?
Thank you so much, Kayla. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Rosbeck. I'm a project director here at GiveGab, and I have been very lucky to be working with Kayla on Mohawk Valley Gives and also had the wonderful opportunity of actually being the project manager for the Staff Works Giving Day this past year as well. So very excited to see a lot of you and help you succeed this year in your amazing Giving Day. All right, so jumping into the next slide. So a big question is, how will you get your donation? So I know Kayla mentioned not too long ago early in the presentation about getting verified. So that verification is required in order for you to collect donations. You'll want to make sure you do that. It typically takes 3 to 5 days to get verified. Every once in a while, there might be additional paperwork needed depending on the organization and stripe. So just give yourself a little bit of time to get that verified. But once donations start coming in with early giving, what they'll do is those donations will be deposited on a rolling basis, 5 to 7 business days after the gift is made. So that being said, Stripe does run on UTC time. So you'll see a batch of donations deposit, shortly after early giving opens and you start receiving gifts. And again, they'll kind of come into your bank account as they're coming in. When you do that, those deposits will appear in your account as if they're from Stripe. So they're the ones, our payment processor who deposits them. So you'll see that in your bank. And we have a really incredible and robust financials report to help you with reconciling those deposits. So I mentioned the UTC time because, it would make sense that maybe it bundled them into like a 24-hour window. But because of UTC time, you may see some some donations that came in the mid-morning and one deposit, and some that came in the late afternoon and a secondary deposit. And that's where that financial report is going to be super helpful. I do want to emphasize that you're not alone in reconciling these donation reports and trying to figure everything out either. Our support team is here to help you navigate all of that. Definitely lean on them to in the little blue chat bubble. They're an incredible resource and they work with nonprofits all the time and helping them reconcile and make sure they understand their financial reports and all of their donations. So definitely lean on us as you're able to get all the answers to your questions and make sure that you understand your financial reports and reconciliation. Right. So finding your donor data, this is another really key piece of information. So your donation data is going to come in and be accessible in real time. So as soon as early donations open, you're going to start seeing all of that donor data. The best way to kind of see this is to go to your admin dashboard as it shows here. And in that panel on the left-hand side, you're going to see both the donations and that financials. Like I mentioned, that financials will bring you to those financial reports for payouts, but that donations button is actually going to show you where you see all your donor data. So on this slide, you're going to be able to filter your data. This is really helpful for when if you participated in more than one giving day. So, maybe you are one of the animal organizations that participated in the Staff Works Giving Day, or you've participated in New York Gives many moons ago when that was a giving day. You're going to be able to sort your donations here by giving day, by time range, by donation type. So whether it's an offline donation or online, really helpful for your financial person in that regard. And that's what all these filters are at the top of your donation report. And then in order to export this into a CSV, so maybe you need to update it into your own donor CRM, or maybe you just want to leverage Excel to manipulate the data, however you may need it. There is an export to CSV at the very bottom. A really nice feature that we have in the system is that the export will hold the filters from up above. So just keep that in mind, that if you haven't put any filters in place, it will automatically email you all of your donor data. If you have filters in place, it will hold those filters and then email you basically only the data that you're seeing here in your donor reports. .
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for going through those slides for us. We appreciate it. So we've got about 15 minutes left in our hour here. And I do want to open it up for questions. If anyone had any questions about anything that was presented or otherwise, now would be the time. You can either enter them in the chat or if you'd like to unmute and speak.
A quick question. You mentioned something about having a template available for a flyer or brochure that we could put our logo on. Is that available yet?
It is not available yet. There is actually in the nonprofit toolkit, I can actually jump to that on my screen. In the nonprofit toolkit online, there's under spread the word, there's this graphics and downloads folder here where you can find the logo, some different backdrops and cover photos for social media and images. There is a flyer down towards the bottom, this one right here. But we are actually, our graphic designer is working on a flyer where you'll be able to add your own logo to it. So we will send that out to the list of all of the organizations that have registered so that you have it.
Great, thank you.
No problem. All right, this is a message from Christina. Thank you for, let's see, got a couple coming in. Thank you for this great information. If a donor walks in and donates via check at our front desk on September 20th, when we manually list the offline donation on the page, does that still charge us the 6% fee? This might be a good question for you, Kelsey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to answer that. So no, there are no platform fees for offline donations collected. A nice thing to remember about offline donations too is that you are able to associate an email address with that donor. So what that does is just ties all of their donations right to one person. So if you do have like their name and email address when you're entering it into the system, it's a great way to help make sure everything is all together. But for fees, any offline donations are not, those fees are not applicable.
Great. That's perfect. Thank you. Let's see. I've got a question here from Joan. So what is the best way to initially engage potential match donors? That's a great question. As far as what medium to use, I might even suggest like setting up a meeting with them if you can to explain what Mohawk Valley Gives is and ask for their support. I think the more personal, the better when it comes to these match donors. I mean, email is great, but it's sometimes that face-to-face contact is even better. And second to that would probably be a phone call, I would say. Allison, we've got another question here. Do you have any language you want us to use or suggest for us to use in announcements, letters, etc.? So that is a great question. The nonprofit toolkit does have, oh, I'm in the nonprofit toolkit. So there, as far as social media goes, there are a lot of pre-written social media posts right in here that you can use for Twitter. Those meet the word counts for Facebook, and also I thought there was some for Instagram. Yes, right down here. And then there's also sample email content. So I think this is really, really helpful getting into the big day. So there's sample emails before the day, on the day of, and then for giving thanks after. So if there is any particular communication that you are looking for language for, we can certainly help with that. And Kelsey, I know I saw you go off mute. I don't know if you have anything to add.
I was just going to say too, like, you know, these are your donors too that you're reaching out to. So like certainly, you're going to find the general Giving Day language that Kayla and her amazing team have put together, throughout the site. But two, like, your donors, right? So you may know the language that they might engage with best as well. So like these sample emails are a great place to start as well, but don't be afraid to maybe, go outside of that box a little bit if you feel like your donors are going to engage with that as well. And I think, as Kayla has already mentioned too, educating them on what Mohawk Valley Gives is and like, what you're looking to accomplish and your goals, like those are all really, really nice, like personal touch points that you can tie into kind of those communications to help make sure that your donors are hearing your voice, even within this larger community-wide philanthropic event.
That's a great point, Kelsey. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah.
And we are always here to help. I can't stress that enough. I mean, Give Gab is always there for support, but also the Community Foundation as well. We are powering this Giving Day, and we want to make it just that. We want to make it powerful and make a huge, huge impact. So anything that we can do to help, just shoot us an email. I don't have my email up on the screen, but I will enter it into the chat just so everyone has it in case you have questions afterwards. Doesn't look like we have any more questions in the chat, but I really hope that everyone found this helpful. And like I said, we will be sending out the recording of this later today, and I'll also send out some links to the different QR codes that were included in that presentation. And yes, John Swan just said it in the chat. Stay cool. It's a hot one out there. We're all inside right now, but if you have to go outside, stay cool. All right. Thank you, Colleen. We're really, really excited. We hope everyone is just as excited as we are. All right. Well, I'm going to end the meeting. I hope everyone has a great day.